Hi, this is Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, as always, we're going to talk about how you can make more money and work less and have a better life in real estate. Today, my special guest is from the Greater Toronto area, Nick Chuong. Nick, welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Craig.
Hey, let's start off with your background, how you found me and what your real estate business looked like prior to meeting up with Craig Proctor, and tell us what's happened since.
Well, it was actually my friends, a couple of us, we wanted to improve our business, and we were tired of being your typical realtor and speaking to people at the office, the water cooler banter, all that stuff. And we found out really quickly that our careers weren't really going in the right direction. So, we heard about this famous agent here, Craig Proctor in Newmarket, and we had to check it out, right? And so my business before meeting you was like, I would struggle every now and then. I crack 100, and I mean, it was just I just didn't know what to do, right? And ever since meeting you, my mindset's completely changed, and so has my business, because I now invest in my business. And most importantly, for all the realtors out there, if you're looking to improve your business, you actually get someone to hold your hand through this journey and to improve your business. So that's as good as it gets.
Hey, you talked about a change in your mindset. Give me an example of how working with me changed the way you think about your real estate or changed your paradigm.
Well, for one thing, before that, I would always be very skeptical when it came to marketing. And I always be like, okay, well, I don't want to spend too much on this. I don't want to invest in this. What if it doesn't work? With your system, basically.
So would it be fair to say that you saw marketing as sort of a necessary evil? You saw it as an expense, something that you did that you didn't get a good return on investment. So you kind of were skeptical about marketing because a lot of times when you had invested money in marketing, you weren't getting a return. Would that be fair?
It would be fair. It was terrible. Like I would do all it was basically like a bunch of bad ideas, and I would do them all. Now with you, Craig, it's like you guys actually just nudge me to the right direction every time. So it's like I'm so thankful for that.
So what kind of things did you start to do that were different than your way of thinking, or what advertising or marketing did you start to implement right away when you joined up with Craig Proctor Coaching?
The big one was implementing a unique selling proposition. That was a game changer for me, because that made me like stand above the crowd, right? Everyone else is doing the same thing, trusted realtor, your neighborhood realtor, all that kind of stuff, right? But I really didn't stand out from the crowd, right? Now with the unique selling proposition that you guys have taught me, it really stands out, right? Whether the agents, even other agents are very curious about it, but definitely when it comes to sellers, like I'll tell you right now, my dream was always to become a listing agent, right? And now it's starting to happen for me, right? Because sellers, they really want to have something that's different from the other agents.
So explain to everybody, just in case they don't know what you're referring to, explain what a USP or a unique selling proposition is.
So basically, the one I use is the one that you use, that you tell all of us.
It's the one in your background.
That's right. Your home sold guaranteed all buy. Like I'll tell you right now, some people might be saying it's cheesy, but I'll tell you right now, I'd rather be cheesy and successful than and be cool and poor. Like those are the options, really.
Yeah, so we do hear that from agents that don't really understand what this is all about. They think it's a bait and switch or it's a gimmick. But what we're really doing here is we're giving sellers an upfront written guarantee, right, that they've agreed to on this price that we're going to sell their home for. And if the house doesn't sell in the time period that we agreed upon at least the price we promised them, then we buy it. Okay, we actually buy the home. So in this marketplace is a very, very important guarantee for buyers, especially a lot of buyers, sellers are buyers, right? They are afraid to buy their next home when they still have a house, because what if I don't get my existing home sold? So I want everyone to think of your home sold guaranteed as basically an insurance policy that Craig Proctor members are giving to home sellers that you'll never get stuck owning two homes. Now, we really do this. We really give sellers upfront written guarantees. And I know a lot of you might be thinking, well, gee, wouldn't you get stuck with owning a lot of houses? Not if you understand how this works. I mean, Nick, you probably thought the same way. When you first heard about this, you probably thought, oh my God, this is super scary. I couldn't afford to do this. I'm going to get stuck with all these homes. That's not the case. In fact, in my entire career of selling real estate for 30 years, I only ended up buying two. And that's at the very beginning of my career when I didn't understand what I was doing. For example, one of the houses, as you know, I didn't even look at it. So rule number one, never guarantee to buy a home that you don't look at. It was also out of my area, not my market center. You've got a Craig Proctor brokerage here, okay? I started licensing agents to use my intellectual property back in the early 1990s. And then, of course, they became successful teams. And we've got huge teams all over North America. Sarah Reynolds has been my client now since 2009. I don't know what Sarah's probably got 150 agents that work on her team, and they're all licensed to use the Craig Proctor system. And then we have folks like Nick that want to buy the brokerage. They want to have this unique selling proposition, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, as the name of their company. Maybe explain why that is such a great name for your company when it comes to the public, buyers and sellers just doing a Google search.
Well, it's amazing, right? It's the same principles as something like Home Depot, right? Versus Lowe's. Like Lowe's, I'm going to be honest, up until I'm going to say 5 years ago, I didn't even know what Lowe's was. I didn't know what they sold, right? And it just happened to be that I drove by Lowe's. I was like, hey, kind of looks like a Home Depot. And I went in there and there was like a sale on fridges, right? But to be honest, had I not driven by, I would not have known what Lowe's is. I would have always gone to Home Depot, right? Well, here's the beauty of the brokerage, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, right? When sellers go on Google, because you know what? About 95% of people go on Google now. And when they check that for real estate, it all pops up. And if you work on my team, you get all these leads. And that's I need help.
So let's move to that topic now. I want to talk about, first of all, the marketing that you do.
Yes.
Using this Craig Proctor marketing. It's such a huge funnel. You bring in so much business that in the beginning, you were doing it all by yourself, like a typical agent. You were, there was just you. And then eventually, you had some administrative people. But now you've got a large team of realtors that help you handle this abundance of leads. In other words, no one person could handle the amount of business that's coming into you. So you're always looking to partner up with super talented, ambitious real estate agents here in the Toronto area. And if you're a real estate agent in the Greater Toronto area, here's what I'm going to recommend that you do. You have two options, really. You could start your own team, okay, like Nick. You could do what Nick's doing and build up your own enterprise and have a team of agents eventually working for you. And if you don't want to do that, why don't you just join up, just partner up with Nick, okay? You will make more money and you will work less, because I'm going to explain how this works, and just feel free to interrupt if I'm not being accurate here, Nick, but you do all the marketing and advertising for the realtors. Right. You have inside sales agents that follow up with the leads and qualify the leads. So if you were an agent working on Nick's team, you don't even get leads. You actually just get appointments. You get listing appointments and you get buyer appointments. Everything else is done for you. And in fact, Nick would spend an enormous amount of time being not just your team leader, but being your coach. He spends time every week coaching up the team members on how to do a better job with the listing presentation, the buyer presentation. We actually give you the PowerPoint presentation and we coach you through, because obviously the more money you make as a team member on Nick's team, the more money Nick makes. So everyone's, aligned in the same direction. We want to make money. Now, this is how ridiculous it is. So if I worked on Nick's team, I would open up my day timer and I might say, you know what, I'm married, I got a couple kids. Maybe I don't want to work on Saturdays, or maybe Thursday nights, I want to, spend time with my kids or whatever. I would have the luxury, within reason, of booking out my own personal time. But whatever time I have open for business is fair game. Nick's office would literally book your day timer full of buyer appointments and listing appointments. Now, when you show up for the listing, it's all set up for you. Okay. You're using the Craig Proctor listing presentation. So you're basically saying the same thing in the same order to get the same great results. It's like a franchise, right? It's a systematic way of doing it. Because there is obviously a best way to do the listing presentation, and we have it. When you get that listing signed at the right price for the right length of time at the right commission rate, all you're going to do is you're going to email that. You're going to send that into Nick's office. They're going to do the rest for you. Okay. Someone on Nick's team is going to get the key cut. Someone on Nick's team is going to install the key box, take the picture of the house, make the feature sheets, deliver the feature sheets. Do you see what a well-organized machine this is, folks? Now, you're a real estate agent. What should you be doing all day long? You should be getting signatures, witnessing signatures. That's what you need to be doing all day long if you want to make money. That's the way your home sold guaranteed realty is set up. It's based on the agents making the most amount of money. So anything that doesn't make you money is taken away from you. You don't have to mess with lead generation. You're not spending the money on lead generation. You don't have to spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars that Nick has invested in me, the Craig Proctor system. He's already done the work. All you have to do is show up and say, hey, man, I want to make a lot of money. Now, here's the key. Do not call Nick if you're lazy, if you're skeptical. You got to be a worker. But if you're a version of Nick, when Nick came to me, and I see this right away, he was hungry. He had a fire in his belly. If you want to make a lot of money selling real estate, you don't have to figure this out all by yourself. Okay. Nick is already doing everything you want to do in real estate here in Toronto. The guy's already doing it. Okay. Now, if you want to be the next Nick here in Toronto or in Philadelphia or in Miami or Vancouver or wherever you're in, you should contact me just like Nick did. I'm going to offer everyone a call with me and my team. Okay. If you're interested in learning more about how to do this, you're going to go to proctorcall.com. So just my name. Where is it? Right there. proctorcall.com. If you type proctorcall.com into your browser, you'll go to my Acuity Day Timer. Pick a day and a time that works for you, that I'm available, and we'll have a conversation. Answer all your questions about where you are, where you want to go. Like, everybody knows where they are right now, and very few people are happy with where they are, no matter where you are. I mean, Nick, you've had big gains here, but I don't have to ask you. I know you're not happy where you are. You want to go to the next level.
I do. And the thing is this, like, before I met you, honestly, these ideas, like, it would be like, I'd be a delusional person to even think about it. That's my mentality 7 years ago, right? But today, now it's completely different. I really believe I can do these things because I know you honestly, Craig, you would never steer me wrong, right? And you'd always push me in the right direction. And that's why I know I can hit certain numbers because of that. Well,
the truth is here, guys, we're not teaching bullshit, right? I sold over 10,000 homes. I made over $100 million in commission as a real estate agent. Made a lot more as a coach and mentor, but as a real estate agent, I made $100 million. I sold more homes in the Toronto area than any other agent in the history of ever. So if it's important to you to be coached by somebody that actually has successfully made millions of dollars, then I'm your guys. There's too many freshly minted coaches, everyone running around bragging about how they're going to show you how to make millions of dollars. And the truth is, a lot of them have never even had a real estate license, or if they did, they were failed real estate agents. I don't know about you, but if I want to become a better golfer, I want to learn from someone that's actually a great golfer. I want to become a better tennis player, I don't want to talk to someone that's never held a tennis racket. So that's the way it works in this industry. Many are called and few are chosen. Okay. We're looking for the few here today. Okay. You're watching this right now for a reason, and that is you've heard of my stuff, right? And you're probably thinking, well, how is Craig different? How is this system different? Let's take a look here at Nick. He kind of like knew me. He came to one of my seminars. He got involved in coaching. He moved up to the platinum level because now he was making millions of dollars. Okay. He's like, you know what? I see how this works. He grew his team. He invested in his business. Now he actually has a business. You see, Nick has something in this brokerage here behind him, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, that is a sellable asset. Okay. So how old are you right now, Nick?
I'm 45.
45. Okay. So Nick's 45. It's like, mid 40s. He's thinking, okay, where does this real estate business go for me? Well, let's talk about the basic standard plan for most agents. We got a lot of 80-year-old realtors here in Toronto.
Yeah.
You want to know why? They're not selling real estate because they want to. They're selling it because they have to, because they are not making enough money, socking enough money away every year for a retirement. Okay. Here's what Nick decided to do. I could work at Remax or Century 21 or whatever. I could work for the rest of my life and build up my client base and build up a huge network of goodwill with hundreds or thousands of clients. But someday I want to retire, and he would have nothing to sell. You can't sell your business when you're an agent working for somebody else's company or franchise, right? Nick has something to sell here. He's going to build this thing up here in Toronto. And the more organized Nick becomes with the systems and processes in the Craig Proctor world, the more he moves out of this business and the more it becomes a business. Definition of a business is it works so you don't have to. Now think about that. Nick is on a path here where he's going to slowly remove himself, and other agents will do work with the buyers and the sellers. It's a real business. Now, that means he can sell it. So I want everyone watching this right now. Can you sell what you have? Okay. If you're a real estate agent, typical real estate agent, you don't have a business, right? You have a job. You might think you have a business because you have business cards, you get signs out in the front yard of the properties. But let's be honest, you got a job. And it's not even a great job because most of you are scratching your head, anxious about where your next commission check is going to come from. Now, what Nick's got is scalable. So let's talk about that next, Nick. Where you want to take this thing? Now that you've got the vision and you got the fire in your belly, where are we going with this?
Listen, I used to sit in there at conferences and I hear about these stories, these success stories about how people are making I don't know, $10 million, like they're grossing $10 million. And I just sat back there. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Honestly, it's like, what am I doing with my life? And then I'm even looking at my stuff around me. And I'm like, man, I should be writing a lot more stuff here. I've been listening too much. I got to write this down. I got to remember this, right? So, I mean, those people that are up there for 10, like they're grossing $10 million, right? Like, I mean, it'll take time, but I don't think it's impossible now. I'm being honest, right? Like I started doing things that I would never thought to do, right? And
that's the key, what you just said, dude. That is the key. Okay, a couple of years ago, you would have looked at that and you would have said, that's impossible, or those guys are full of shit, or nobody can do that kind of business, or I'm in Toronto and my marketplace is different, or all the reasons why you wouldn't believe that would be possible for you. Now, what's different is you believe it.
Well, like you said it many times, but it didn't really hit me until one day you're like, usually the problem is between my ears, right? Like for most of us, that's where the problems begin. And that's dissipated now, right? And
it's true, man. That the number one thing that holds real estate agents back is between the ears.
Like I'll tell you right now, everyone's telling me about the market, how it's completely tanked, and like even leading up to Christmas, holy smokes, we had so many appointments. We're trying to get to the appointments, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone's talking about lead generation, how everyone's freaking out, like all this bad news. But honestly, we were so busy in December and November too, right? We're November to December, we're really busy. Like, I mean, now here's an opportunity. I mean, I have this brokerage named Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So it's perfect. It's starting to line up with the actual market, right? Because right now, today, a lot of sellers are struggling to sell their home. So the thing is, when they see, when they punch in your home, sell your home, guess who pops up? I do. It's because you guys did all the heavy lifting. All I had to do was copy. That's it.
Well, let's prove this point to everybody. How many of you watching this would agree that when you're shopping for a product or service, or even a restaurant, it used to be, Nick, if you and I wanted to go to a restaurant, we'd have to go actually to the restaurant first and go out for dinner to know whether it had good food. Today, we just Google the restaurants in Toronto, and we could look at the 5-star reviews, and we would know whether the food and service is good even if we've never been there before. So when it comes to selling a house, this is the big point I want to make with everyone. The decision who the seller is going to list their home with, that decision's being made online. It used to be at the kitchen table, right? The idea was, I got to call hundreds of leads. And honestly, when you're calling hundreds of leads today, you're buying your leads or whatever you're getting your leads from, your cold calling or whatever. Honestly, be totally truthful with me. If you were to call 100 of these leads that you buy from wherever, how many do you actually speak to? Be honest. Maybe 5, maybe 10. And what's the big idea here? Well, the reason you're calling the 100 to speak to 5 who blow you off anyway, but successfully hoping that you get at the kitchen table. Why? So you can show them what you do. Why don't you just show them what you do on video like we're doing right now? You see, this is the world of marketing that Nick has stepped into. Okay. What we teach our members to do is, we're just going to talk about all of our benefits, and we're just going to push it out to all of our unconverted leads. They're going to see that video, and that's how we're going to get to the kitchen table. We're going to do the presentation first. But here's a little test I want everyone to do. Don't do it now, but when we're done, okay, I want you to go to Google when we're done here, and I want you to pretend that you're a home seller, okay? And I want you to type in the following search terms, okay? And I want you to look at the numbers, okay? So if you were to type into Google, into the search bar, Remax, Century 21, Keller Williams, okay? Look at the searches, look at the number of searches, and then I want you to type in your home sold guaranteed, or just your home sold. There's no comparison. So we've named this company, not only it's a wonderful, unique selling proposition because it's a promise that differentiates us from every other real estate agent, but when home buyers and sellers do a Google search, it's got way better ranking than the names of these other franchises. I mean, what's a Remax? What's a Keller Williams? Right? So your home sold guaranteed realty has the benefit the seller or buyer is going to derive right in the name of the company. And that's why it's named, that way. Everything we do here is designed to get maximum response. Nick, let me ask you this. You're my first interview here in 2023.
Okay. Oh,
so happy New Year to everyone. Yeah, I've got you on my list to be number one here for the new year.
It's an honor.
Look, we know the market is tanking. It's going to tank all over the United States and Canada. We're in a recession. We're in a recession. Definition of a recession is 2 shrinking quarters, which has already happened. So we're going to have probably 25 to 30% of the real estate agents get out of the business, which is way better for the superstars inside the Craig Proctor world, because every time there's a recession, we pick up market share. So if someone said, and Nick, if someone said to you, oh, how's the real estate market in Toronto? You might say it sucks. But if they said, how's your real estate market here? How's your business, Nick? You'd say, my business is awesome.
It is. I'll tell you right now, Craig, I can't even believe how much better it's gotten since the market's tanked. Like it's crazy in terms of like all of us, all realtors, we always say, oh, you got everyone, we've always heard you have to list the last, right? Everyone's heard that term. Yet we only aspire. Like we aspire to be that, but most of us never reach that point, right? And the thing is, like even the brokerage name, I'll tell you right now, Craig, I didn't realize how much money I made for my office. Any office that I ever worked for, I didn't realize it until I opened up my own brokerage. Do you know, I was not aware of how many calls I have coming in. And like, I used to hear it from you saying, oh yeah, maybe, so-and-so, they might be giving it to a realtor that they like. I used to be, laugh, it's
Oh,
whatever.
I totally get it, man. When I was at Remax, okay, I had it was a 2-story building in Newmarket, and my team had the entire second story. Okay, so there were my 55 agents on the main floor, and my team of 8 on the second floor. We would get calls from home sellers saying, "Hey, we're out of feature sheets," and we're like, "Yeah, but we don't have you listed." No, I'm listed with Remax. They thought because they were listed with Remax that I owned the whole company. Well, no, we were told we were told you were part of. We were told by the Remax agent that they worked with Craig Proctor. Well, technically they worked at the same brokerage, but not part of my team. I even had to go as far as getting my own private phone number on all the for sale signs, because when I had the office number in my advertising and on the for sale signs, what we were finding is people were calling in for Craig Proctor, but the people at the front desk were giving these calls to their friends, the other agents in the office. So when you start your own company, you realize how much business you were losing from your sign calls, your ad calls. These calls are coming to the office, and I get it. So the other agents, some of them will become friendly with the people at the front desk, and so there's so many benefits to having your own show, because you own it, you run it, you're building equity for yourself. So as long as you're working for somebody else, you're building equity for them. Like over the 20 years I was with Remax, I was the number one Remax agent in the world. How many hundreds or thousands of agents did I recruit to Remax? I didn't get any money from that.
Yep.
Right? I built their business. I sold over 10,000 homes, building their brand all over York region, all over Toronto. So you've got an opportunity now. You're building something for you. You're building equity in you. Every time you sell a house, every time you grow your business, every time you recruit and you build this, you're building a sellable asset. So this is a level beyond the way most agents think. Most agents think about, where can I get my next deal, right? So I understand that when you're in starvation mode, it's all about, well, how do I get my next deal? How do I get my next deal? And then eventually we show you how to get so much business. You're like, well, how do I hire people? How do I hire people? Because I've got a lot of business coming in here. I can't handle it all. It's falling off the table. I'm working 80 hours a week. So then we build the team. The next level after the team, why don't you just have your own company? So that's exactly what Nick did. Nick, what are the big opportunities for you in 2023? I know you've got a pecking list of things you want to implement. Give us a couple of zingers, a couple of things that really like you're going to focus on that you think are going to be game changers for you here in 2023.
Well, I'm going to focus a lot more on listings from now on. And the thing is, the beauty of it too, because the way you've, taught us how to market. So people now are calling me. I don't have to call them nonstop, right? They're actually calling me. And that was a really, that was a game changer, right? Like, for me to build my business that way, it was amazing. And people now are calling me for listings. And you already know, you already see the prices dropping and the interest rates going up. There are going to be a lot of people that can't afford their homes, right? What does it mean? It's a great time to be an agent, right? There's a lot of opportunities to become a powerhouse listing agent. If you want to be like Craig's actually a very, very famous agent in the GTA. He's not even from the GTA, but he was getting a lot of business, right? Like, Craig, you were destroying Newmarket and the York region. You're well known there, right? And the thing is, you even said that was in the time that you were doing that was when interest rates were pretty high, right?
Everyone's freaking out with the interest rates being 6-7%. But I want everyone to understand that the 30-year average for interest rates is 7.5%. So we're not even at the average interest rate over the last 30 years, and everyone's freaking out. And the reason people are freaking out is because during the pandemic, money was free, right? The central banks were flooding the economy with money at next to zero interest rates. So that's why home prices went up, right? When rates go down, home prices go up. When rates go up like they're going up now, home prices go down. Did I say that right? So when interest rates go down, home prices go up. When interest rates go up, home prices go down. So, we know what's going to happen over the next year or two. And you're right. There'll be a lot of people that overextended themselves, and they're going to have we're going to have forced sales. And that's what's going to drive the prices down, is forced sales. We didn't have that. We had people that wanted to sell. Everyone had equity in their house, which a lot of people have equity in their house. So I don't think it's going to be like the financial crisis or anything, but this is going to be a totally different market that we're stepping into. And buyers and sellers are going to be very particular as to who their agent's going to be. No longer are they going to be like, hey, you know what? We can list our house with Uncle Joe. He does it part-time. Or, my friend Susan, she does nails during the day, but she also has a real estate license. That's over with, right? And all these accidental sales, sitting in open houses and 50 people, that's all over. That's gone. You need smart, modern marketing. You need the Craig Proctor system if you want to not just survive, but thrive. I've been doing this for 30 years. The years where I made the most amount of money were in recessions. Let me give you an example. I got my license in 1988. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. Nick, by the time I was making any money, it was 1990. So guess what they tell us to do? When you're a real estate agent, what do they tell us to invest in? You should invest in real estate. I couldn't have picked a worse time, Nick, because started in 88, started to make was a failure in the first year, started to make a bit of money in 89. By 1990, I've got the marketing figured out. It's working. I'm making $1 million a year. I start investing in rental properties. And in 91, in Toronto and a lot of parts all over North America, we had a big recession and home prices dropped 30%. And I got rid of all my rental properties. I'm like, oh my God, I freaked out. Right. So, and that cost me a lot of money because in real estate, by the way, when real estate dropped in 91, it stayed low probably till, I don't know, early 2000s, at least late 1990. It stayed low, the prices, for a long, long time. So we could, when you're talking to a seller today that says, I am not, I could have sold my house for $100,000 more 3 months ago. We've got to be the voice of reason with buyers and sellers, because what they're saying is when it comes back to that price, I'll sell it. You may be in that house for 12 years until the prices go up to what they were 6 months ago, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. And how about the buyers? What do they hear on the media, the news, the radio, the TV? Oh, it's a terrible time to buy. Interest rates are high. No. It's a good time to buy because rates are going higher. It's still under the 30-year average. It's still a good time to buy. It's like planting a tree. When was the best time to plant a tree? 30 years ago. When's the next best time? Right now. So it's still a good time to buy. It's still a good time to sell. People will get used to the high interest rates. Okay, we're going to get used to it. It's just like if gasoline was $1 a gallon and, then it's $7 a gallon. People get used to, they're bitching and complaining, but they're still filling up their car, right? So people will get used to this, over the next few months, and real estate will survive and the strong will survive. So here's what's going to happen with Nick's business. It's just going to keep increasing market share. He knows how to market now. You know that the more you invest in a specific type of Craig Proctor marketing, the more closings you're going to get.
Yep.
So if I invest $500, I'm going to get a $15,000 closing. Who wouldn't do that? Yep. How many closings do you want? Well, how many $500 do you want to spend? It's that simple, right? Okay, so tell me, what are your big ambitions for this year?
Well, I basically we want to gross easily, $1 million. That should be pretty easy. It's definitely on the target, right? And after that, the year after that, it's all about doubling up every year because once you get it going, it's really easy, right? Like that's the one thing I learned. It's like honestly, the way your system's built and the things that you teach us, it's like a multiplier for our business, right? It's exactly what you said. Oh, wow, cool, this works. $500, let's do more of it, right? And then it's a multiplier. That's what it is, really. And
it's funny that agents would freak out about investing $500 to make a $15,000 or $20,000 commission check, but they would give a 25% referral away all day long. Right? Like how many of you watching this right now, if Nick was to refer you a listing and you made 20 grand, okay, you would happily pay 25% of the 5 grand, $4,000 to Nick. You would do that all day long. Why don't we just refer business to ourselves for $300 or $400 or $500 a transaction? Why don't we do that, right? And the thing is with referrals is you can't count on them, right? You could get a referral from someone across the country, and you get one referral, and then they get out of the business, or they find another agent that they like in your marketplace that they like better than you. But you have the ability to refer business to yourself all day long. Like Nick, that new construction campaign that our top members are running. See if I've got a copy of that here. I think I do.
Yeah, we're reaching out to all the builders. You told me we're doing it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see, you can't want to see it because I got my background here, but we're generating leads for about $2 to $3 a piece. And basically what we're offering is we're offering a list of new construction homes in your area. And these are good buyers because pretty much all the buyers have a house to sell. Mm-hmm. So think about this. Let's even say the high side. If you're generating leads with this particular campaign that we give to our members, it's called the new construction campaign. If you're generating good quality leads at $3 a piece, that means if you spent $300, you get 100 leads. You could suck at conversion and you convert at least 1 of 100. Would you guys agree? You could suck at conversion. You could be terrible at conversion, but you could even if you're horrible at conversion, you would convert 1 out of 100 leads. So you invested $300 and you got a $15,000 or $20,000 commission check. How many of you would do that all day long? So, but you said at the beginning of the interview, this is sort of the paradigm you had in the beginning. You were worried about, well, I got to spend $300.
Yeah. Because
you lack confidence that you would get the ROI, the return on investment. 100%. Now you're beyond that. Now you're like, now it's a race to spend money on effective marketing because, every time you lay down the $300, you're getting the $15,000, $20,000 commission check.
Well, it's funny, right? I had this conversation with someone else, and I said like this: it is a race of how much money I can spend as quickly as possible, because the sooner I spend the money, the sooner I get this opportunity to make more money, right? That's how I've changed, right? Before I'd be like, but you have to spend this first, right? Now I'm like, the quicker I do it, the quicker I get the result. That's basically how it goes now.
Let me see if I can shut off my virtual background here.
Sure.
And I'll show everybody what this ad looks like.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, none. Okay, so that's what it looks almost the same, right? Okay, so let me show everybody. Here's what it looks like. You can take a picture of that if you want.
Okay.
Everybody got it? So the ad says resale homes and new construction homes. Brand new homes are now available in blank your area. So Toronto, whatever area is, with low down payment and discounted mortgage rates. Click below to request a list of available homes, locations, prices, and floor plans. This campaign is running as on a Facebook. It's a paid Facebook ad, driving to a lead page, or you could even have prospects message you directly saying, "Hey, I want the information on the new homes," which is great because you don't have to chase them down. We know people don't answer the phone. This is the kind of smart marketing that we teach you to get you started. Okay, you might look at Nick and say, okay, here's a guy making $1 million a year, and he's got big plans. He's bought his own Craig Proctor brokerage, but it didn't start off that way.
No.
Right? It started off like when you met me, honestly, how many transactions were you doing with the year you met me?
Honestly, like the best up until that point, I think I did and that was in a good year, would have been 12, but I was really hovering around a bit better than the average, right? Like around 7 to 8, right? A year.
Right. So a transaction a month, a transaction a month was huge for you before you met me.
Yeah. Of course. It was
right. What's a good month look like for you today?
Well, I mean, a good month, then we could do 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Right. We're struggling to crack 1 before. Now we're talking about okay, in a great month, you're having 4 or 5. So I mean, it's good, right? Okay,
so you were not even averaging one per month, and now you're doing a transaction a week.
Yeah, that's our goal, right? That's what these are the goals. These are your goals change as time goes on, right? Before you're just thinking, oh my God, so I mean, what is it? It's 0.25 transaction a week, right? And you'd be thrilled.
So what did the other agents think of what's happened to you? In real estate, you have your real estate friends and people that know you and people that kind of don't know you. What are people have noticed this transformation in you and how you think, and what do the other agents in your marketplace think of the new Nick?
Well, it's the same. I'm sure it's the same way that other agents thought of you. When you first started doing what you were doing, I'm sure you got all the support from the office, just like I did. All my friends liking my stuff. As time goes on, the likes start to drop considerably, right? And that's when I see less likes, especially from agents, I know I'm on the right path, to be honest.
Yeah, the best revenge is massive success. But same thing. When I started, I was no threat to anybody. Everyone at the Remax office was super friendly. And as I became more successful, it's like some people, like it began like they wouldn't say hi, and then all of a sudden they're not talking to you. Like, what did I do to you other than I'm becoming really successful? So yeah, some people, unfortunately, that's the response. You're going to have people that support you. You'll find out who your real friends are. But hey, we're not in the real estate business for a popularity contest. This is a business. The people you care the most about are your clients, the buyers and sellers that you serve. And every time you take a client from an average or below average realtor and you do a great job for them, you've saved that client. You've given them a way better experience, and you're building lifelong clients who are going to come back to you over and over and over again. I want to also mention that Nick is also a Craig Proctor coach. So for those of you that get involved with Craig Proctor coaching, I don't hire coaches off the streets like some of these characters do. Honestly, there's one coach I heard recently in California. It's got like hundreds of coaches, and they just run ads. Like, would you like to be a coach? No real estate experience required to be a coach at their real estate. It's crazy. Every one of my coaches is making high 6 and 7 figures. Okay. Folks like Nick that have been in the Craig Proctor system for years and years and years that are successfully doing every day what they teach you. I can't imagine coaching someone with the detailed stuff that you couldn't do it unless you were actually doing it yourself. So when you get hooked up with us, you not only get me, you get assigned your own one-on-one coach that's in the trenches every day, listing houses, working with buyers, growing their business, running Craig Proctor marketing. That's why they're able to actually help you, because they can answer the nitty-gritty questions that you have. They can give you the details. You ask these kind of details. If any of you folks watching this have had regular coaching, not Craig Proctor coaching, you've had these coaches that I'm referring to, you know what it's like. They'll talk to you about how things look at the 30,000 foot level. But when you ask them specific questions, when that ad comes in, what do I say to convert it? And what are the follow-up? They couldn't tell you. They're like, I don't know, call a CRM company. This is about making 2023 your best year ever. Now, also, I must mention this as well. Nick, I did a massively huge New Year's Day call, a free call, just opened it up to realtors anywhere in the United States and Canada. I only promoted this thing about 4 or 5 days before New Year's Day, but I had 2,000 realtors register for this thing. 2,000.
I believe you.
Yeah. So what I offered is, to get started, I've offered everyone a class with me in January, every Wednesday for 3 weeks. Now, normally this class is $2,000. We dropped it in half to $995. You can get information on the class, and we'll put a link below, at Your Best Year 2023. Everybody say it with me. Your Best Year 2023. Your Best Year 2023. And what's it about? It's about you having your best year in 2023. I give you the ads, I give you the scripts, I give you the presentations, I give you the coaching. What a great time of the year to start afresh, right? With a plan from somebody that actually knows how to make millions of dollars selling real estate. I have done this for a long time, but what I'm most proud of is not only my own real estate career, being the top agent in the world for Remax for many years, but the fact that I've been able to transfer my knowledge and create more millionaire real estate agents than any other coach, trainer, or guru. In fact, if anyone tells you otherwise, they are lying. Nobody has created more millionaire real estate agents than Craig Proctor. So get yourself signed up for the class. All you have to do is go to your best year. Did I say no? What was it? Your best year 2023.com. Your best year 2023.com. We'll put the link down there in case I messed it up. But get yourself registered. It starts tomorrow, right? Wednesday, January the 4th, it starts. And it's every Wednesday for 3 weeks. And everything will be recorded. So, if you miss a call or you want to watch it over, and we'll have all the resources I give you. It'll be up all year long on this resource website. So you're
giving all that, Craig? You're giving all the resources too?
Holy smokes. Not all. I'm giving everyone more than their $9.95's worth.
That's for sure. Guys, honestly, listen to this, man. Sign up. If you want to change the trajectory of your career, sign up with Craig, because I'll tell you right now, that was one of the best things I ever did. The only thing I regret is that I didn't hear about Craig earlier in my career. I'll tell you right now, if I could do it all over again, that's what I wish, that I had a coach like Craig right from the beginning. When I started, especially in 2008, when the market tanked, it tanked really bad then. I wish I had Craig in my corner then.
I'm going to pull this up here so everybody can see it. It's your best year, 2023. So I'm going to pull this up. Obviously, I wasn't planning to do this, but we'll do it.
All right.
And I got big fingers here, so give me a second. Yeah, I don't know why.
Can I join too, Craig? Is that okay?
You can. You should actually join this class.
Okay. All right.
But you'll find it on social media. You'll find the link there.
Okay.
And it's going to be three weeks long. Your best year 2023.com. Let's see if I can pull this up. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we'll share this with everybody right now. Okay, so this is where you're going to go. Your best year 2023.com. It's normally $2,000. So Nick, check this out. This is what we're giving away for under $1,000. Okay. Right. Normally we sell this stuff for like 10 grand. So this new construction campaign that I showed you guys a few minutes ago, I'm giving you the ads, showing you how to meet with the builders, how to advertise, create your information package that you're going to offer to the public. What I like about new construction is you don't even have to write the offer. All you have to do is register the buyer with the builder and you get paid. It's the freaking easiest transaction you've ever done in your life, right? So, and most of the buyers that respond to the new construction marketing are good buyers who have houses to sell. And a lot of times they won't even buy a new construction home. You'll just sell them a resale, but you'll get their listing.
Right.
Our VIP marketing system. So we're going to show you the best offers to make. So instead of saying, right now, most agents would say this to a buyer. Would you like me to email you the houses on MLS that, you can find on the internet? Right? That's what the buyer thinks. It's like, you're not giving me anything that I can't find by myself online. But still today, most agents, their big offer to buyers is, would you like me to email you the houses on MLS? And the buyer's like, no, thanks. I can do that myself. Right. Or the agent will say to the buyer, I'm a great negotiator. I'll negotiate and represent your best interests. And the buyers today are like, well, I would rather represent my own best interest. Now that I can find all the houses online, I can go directly to the listing agent, cut you out, and negotiate a way better deal. So the buyer's like, I think I'll negotiate for my own best interest. Divorce marketing. We're talking about who should we be targeting in a recession? Obviously, people that have to sell. The builders are stuck with all these new houses because when interest rates went up, thousands of buyers walked away from transactions. That's why new construction home builders are a great target market. This VIP buyer offer, this is what it should sound like. Instead of saying to the buyer, would you like me to email you what's on the internet that's public information? Instead, say this to the buyer. Say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, do you know that many of the best homes don't make it to the open market? Would you like to get access to unlisted and off-market and pre-market properties, along with along with bank foreclosures and distress sales. It's absolutely free of charge, and you're never obligated to do anything. If you made that offer, buyers would be interested. So we're going to coach you up on how to make the right offers to buyers and sellers. People going through a divorce, we're going to show you how to target people that have to sell. They're going through a divorce. Expired listings will be huge. You need an expired marketing system. Luxury homes. You know what? If you want to make a lot of money and get rich in real estate, stop working with renters or first-time buyers. Work with rich people. Okay, wealthy, affluent people are least affected by a recession. Plus, I'm going to give you my listing presentation and my buyer presentation. All the three classes are recorded. If you add that up, it would add up to over $10,000. That's what we would sell it separately for if you were to buy these things separately through my office. So I wanted to make on New Year's Day, because we had 2,000 agents, a freaking irresistible offer. $995. Okay, so I didn't even think about even mentioning this. As you can see on this call, I fumbled to find the order page. I just thought I'd throw it out there because this thing starts tomorrow. Here's the testimonials. Here's where you fill it in. One payment in $995. That's it. There's no other payments. It's all recorded. I heard on the New Year's Day call, well, I got something going on in January the 4th. I have a doctor's appointment. Don't worry. You're not going to miss anything because everything is recorded on demand. Yeah, be there for the live if you can make it. I'll be doing it over Zoom, but if not, don't worry. Everything is going to be recorded. These are the dates of the sessions right here. January the 4th, which is this Wednesday, January the 11th, the following Wednesday, and then January the 18th. They're all going to be at 1 p.m. East Coast time. So where do you go? yourbestyear2023.com. We'll have that information below the video. Now, Nick, I'm a real estate agent in Toronto.
Yep.
Or maybe anywhere, and I want to talk to you. What would be the best way? I'm intrigued by you. I'm intrigued by your story. I want to know more about this. Potentially, maybe I want to join up with you, partner up in some way on your team. What would be the best ways to reach you?
Let's call my office, 647-670-0838. Listen, we are busy. We need your help. And if anything, this is one of the best problems I could blame Craig for, right? You know, he's keeping us busy. So thanks, Craig.
Repeat that number again, because the first time people didn't have a pen in their hand. So grab a pen.
All right.
Okay, here it comes.
647-670-0838.
Okay, do it again. One more time.
647-670-0838.
Okay, so give Nick a call. Okay, check him out. Google him. Okay, look how he shows up on social media, and then look how you show up on social media. Okay, mystery shop him. Mystery shop the guy. So it's like, Nick hasn't been involved with Craig Proctor for that long, but you know what? He's got fire in his belly. He's got that spark. Okay, he's going to go far with this thing. Many of you have the spark, right? That's why you're still listening to me. We've been at this now almost an hour. These, by the way, Nick, they never go an hour. They're usually like a half an hour. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. But if you're still watching this, 50 minutes into this, you're here for a reason, because this makes sense. Why would you try to figure out real estate on your own? I'm not saying you can't, just like you can cut your own grass, but you don't cut your own grass. I could wash my own car. I could bring the dry cleaning in, but I can get people to do that. Why would you try to figure this out on your own? Everything you want to do in real estate's already successfully been done by me and Nick and thousands of Craig Proctor system members all over the United States and Canada. All you have to do is copy. Raise your hand. Am I a good copier? All you have to do is copy. Every question you have, every problem you have, we've already had those problems. We know the answers to the questions. Nick, you're still learning today from our members that are making over $1 million in commission every month. I want to make sure everyone understood that, right? Because when you said that earlier, I bet you there were a lot of realtors like, oh, what Nick must mean is they sell $1 million house once a month. They do $1 million a month. No, they're making $1 million in commission income every single month. We have lots of them. How many realtors hear that right now? That's bullshit. That could never happen. I don't believe that. You know what? They have a team. Okay. Let's take Sarah Reynolds. She made $15 million last year, $16 million. She gave half to her team. How many of you would be pissed off about making $8 million net in your pocket? You know, it's how people look at things, right? Oh, well, I mean, she did 15 or $16 million, but she had a team. Like, it doesn't count. Okay. So she made $16 million. She gave half to her team, which is 8, and she keeps 8. How many? And she's not involved with working with buyers and sellers at all.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm going to go back to cold calling and door knocking and doing open houses and floor time. If you're looking for why something won't work, believe me, you'll find it. Whether you think this is right or whether you think this is wrong, you're 100% right. I want to thank everybody for watching this today. And Nick, I want to thank you for being awesome at this. You didn't have to come to your first Craig Proctor event.
No.
And ever since, you sat in the front row.
Yeah.
And you've been a great ambassador to the Craig Proctor system. Again, I encourage everybody, if this makes sense to you, run away from the BS that everyone else is pushing at you and make some serious money selling real estate. Okay. How is a phone call going to hurt you? What's the downside of reaching out to Nick? What would be the downside of that? Okay. No, it's easy to say, no, that won't work. Or you've got all these ideas about this. Make the phone call. What if this is real? What if once you talk to Nick, you're like, okay, I understand this. I understand how my career and my family would financially benefit. We would make more money and work less and have a better life in real estate by just making a phone call, right? And join up my class, $995. That's nothing. Think of what you spend $995 on. Okay. How many of you will waste more than $995 here in 2023 on dumb ads, on dumb stuff that you already know doesn't work because you've been doing it for years? Crazy, right? We say, I want next year to be better. And then we keep doing the thing that we've been doing.
That's
right.
That's
Every yeah, man, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to be more successful, but nobody wants to change. Right. We've got to be open to new and better ways of doing things. That's what we've got here in Craig Proctor Nation. So, Nick, we're going to wrap it up. We are at the 1 hour mark, one of my longest, but one of my best. One of my best interviews here. I can guarantee you one thing, Nick. I can say this very truthfully. You have been my best interview here so far in 2023.
Oh, thanks.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. This is Craig Proctor. You can book your call with me at proctorcall.com, proctorcall.com, and you'll see some information below. Thank you very much for watching this. And Nick, thank you for doing an awesome interview.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you. Take care. And you've been watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate.